I don't smoke, but holy shit, do I need a cigarette, Spring. 9-6? The Avs scored 13 goals. 13 goals in the entirety of their 4-game sweep in round 1 over the Los Angeles Kings. And we got a franchise record 9 this evening. The previous highest scoring game in Avalanche playoff history was game 1 of the 2022 Western Conference Final when the Avs won 8-6 against the Edmonton Oilers en route to a Stanley Cup championship. Well, a sweep in the Western Conference Final that year. But 9-6 is the final this evening. The last time Scott Wedgwood let up more than 3 goals was all the way back on March 16th, where he let up 3 goals in a loss to the Pittsburgh Penguins. This was absolute lunacy, Spring. Lunacy.
So is that the game of the year in all of the NHL? Game of the year so far? It's way up there if it's not the game of the year. How about Anson Carter? What was it in the second intermission? He's like, oh, this is like ugly hockey. And like, yeah, there were some defensive breakdowns, but my goodness, there were just plays being made offensively. Man, this great goal after great goal. Malinsky has what a shot he has kind of activating offensively. Jack Drury with a hezzy and a good goal. It's a great Logan O'Connor forecheck. The McKinnon shot off of Volstedt's pad and then gathering it and finding Lehkonen, and the Avs get a power play goal. Quinn Hughes' pass to Ryan Hartman was
sensational.
Excellent. That little stop and turn and centering pass to Hartman. The Makar, and this is now after Cale Makar's back in the game, taking a hit from who is it, Marcus Foligno, early in this game. And look, I was worried maybe it was a knee. The way, because he kind of comes back out at the end of the first period, takes a lap during a TV timeout, but does not come into the game. And it looked like he was kind of maybe shaking that knee, and the way that he kind of landed or kind of went upwards, I thought maybe he tweaked a knee, but no. Then you see he's got these rubber gloves on to put ointment on the hip area, so some sort of scrape or big bruise, a lot of pain in that hip area. And Cale, little defensive sequence there, break out to Nichushkin. That cross-ice pass from Nichushkin is unbelievable. Nick Blankenburg was kind of the story of the second period. Brent Burns a little bit as well, but Blankenburg, that's a great activation offensively off of a great pass from Nichushkin. What a goal from Nick Blankenburg. But in that second period, man, Blanky's size, he was pushed around. He was playing with Burns a lot in that second period. They had to change things up. Malinsky had to leave this game, but he did come back, taking a puck to the face. Some uncertainty with Makar in the first period changes the D pairs a little bit, but that Blankenburg-Burns pair wasn't great in the second period. But great goal by Nick Blankenburg. He brings you something offensively, but defensively in the second period, not great. Not great for the Avs.
It's almost as if the Avs had a handful of days off, and before that, they were playing a style of hockey that looked nothing like what they played this evening, right? It was wide open. It was offensive. The neutral zone was flowing for both teams. And I really do think the Avs just got kind of caught off guard as a result of having to play a completely polar opposite style of hockey for the last 7 days, man. This game had everything. It had heavy hits. It had a little bit of hatred that Landeskog and who was it? Was it Brock Faber went at it?
It was Brock Faber, yep.
The goaltending was horrible. And then in the third period, Scott Wedgwood was fantastic. Like the first 2 periods, Scott Wedgwood was a guy who I didn't know who was on the ice. And in the third period, I went, oh, that's Wedgie. He's back. And the only thing that beats him in the third period is this weird, like, pinball Plinko goal that goes off of Matt Zuccarello's shin and up and over his shoulder. This game was drunk. This game was high on fentanyl. Like, it was absolute lunacy what happened this evening between those two teams. It was a scary game. I agree. With actual size on YouTube, there was a scary game, but you came away with the points. And Spring, before we get into like breaking down the minutia of this game, what this sets up is a rookie goaltender going into game 2 on Tuesday having to be perfect in the first period. Because if he lets up 2 goals in the first and Minnesota's down 2-0 or 2-1, I don't know if he sees the crease for the rest of the series. And I think that's a lot of pressure that Jesper Wallstedt, who again is a sensational netminder, has not had on him in his young career. I think the Avs need to press the issue early and often on Tuesday evening.
Yeah, these were the 2 best goaltenders in the league on save percentage. They didn't have a large amount of starts, but their numbers were great this year. And Wallstedt was great in the Stars series, Wedgwood great in the Kings series, and then here tonight Wedgie allows 6 and Wallstedt allows 8. Like, who had that really? But it's just, the ice, it opens up so much more. When you have Kaprizov and Boldy and Quinn Hughes, etc. No Eriksson Ek too, and that's gigantic. No
Massive.
Yoel Eriksson Ek is huge. Because that's a 2-way forward, and that helps the Wild's defense from a forward perspective. And 9 goals without a Yoel Eriksson Ek. And they're not, Dallas has those big, nasty defensemen. Look, Quinn Hughes is lighter. He's great offensively.
He's amazing.
He kind of, jumps out of the way of that final Cale Makar goal. It's not Lindell and Bischel. It's, they need an Eriksson Ek. They're kind of like the Avs where you need Nichushkin, being that 2-way forward. Lehkonen being that 2-way forward. They need help from their forwards. And so if you don't have an Eriksson Ek, that is a huge reason why the Avs score 8 goals, stands an empty net goal.
They're missing Jonas Brodin on the back end as well.
Sure.
And I think that like the added minutes for Jacob Middleton, how bad was Jacob Middleton tonight? Dude, he was so bad that after the second intermission, there was a Jacob Middleton pizza montage on TNT because of how many turnovers that guy, how many hot and ready pizzas he just left in the middle of the ice for Colorado. They scored on 2 of them. Middleton was god-awful, just as bad as Burns was this evening. Luckily enough, Burns got better as the game went on, but he was terrible in that second period. Middleton, I never felt got better in this game. Brodin is a big miss. Eriksson Ek is not being talked about nearly enough. That guy is Darrell Revis. He is Pat Surtain II. He is a set it and forget it handcuff for opposing star centermen. The fact that they don't have to play against him, they being the Avalanche, is absolutely massive. Massive that he's not on the ice. And it shows they can't defend down the middle of the ice compared to what Colorado has. You know who had a little bit more step today? You mentioned Val Nichushkin. I thought he was excellent this evening. Naz Kadri felt like he had a little bit more of a step this evening than he did in the LA series.
It looked like the handful of extra days off and the fingers 100% now. And he didn't take a single face off in the Kings series. I heard Connor McGahey mention that when I caught just the start of this broadcast on the radio tonight. Kadri took 7 draws tonight. He only won 2, but 8 shots on goal. How about that? 8 shots on goal from Nazem Kadri, and he had a huge one on, and I guess Minnesota kind of gave one right back to Colorado because, the Avs have the terrible little setup passes on that power play that lead to the Foligno shorthanded goal. And, this is, bad defensive breakdowns, bad power play stuff, as usual, even though they go 2 for 2 on the power play. That's hilarious. The finish by Tarasenko was sick. The finish by Foligno was sick.
Yes.
Those were great.
The Tarasenko goal. What a finish by that player.
I think it was Blankenberg on him, but also you kind of do just say awesome finish.
Tip your cap to a guy who's been in the league for 17 years, man. Yeah, I completely agree.
Was just filled with and the Kadri shot was awesome. He had juice on that over the pad, under the glove. It's funny, Kadri is a -3, but 8 shots on goal, and you love to see that because he hadn't been shooting.
Right. The offensive side of the Kadri line I thought was great, and I see a lot of people in there, whether it was Benny or Powderhound on YouTube right now, talking about how terrible they were on defense, and they were. The Quinn Hughes goal that ties up the game, I want to say it was at 4-4. dude, he puts Kadri on roller skates at the top of the zone. Like, Naz got completely exposed. And Quinn Hughes does that to a lot of players, whether they are fleet of foot or not. I thought that line was bad defensively. What I'm saying is I thought Naz looked like he had an extra step tonight that he didn't have in the LA series.
Oh, and I just thought he was, I thought he had the step in the LA series. He just wasn't shooting. And I think that was a product of the finger. And now
if he doesn't have the finger ready, dude, he gets caught by Spurgeon on the breakaway. He's going to get caught.
Oh, he doesn't get that shot over the pad. He doesn't get the juice on that shot. And he whipped 8 of them. Nas, look, there were a lot of bad defensive moments, but that's going to happen when the ice opens up. And they do miss Josh Manson, just like the Wild miss Eric Sinek. Obviously different positions, but still defensively, both teams missed that. That's a contributing factor here. But another thing I like too was we saw the lines as they're supposed to be right now. I think that they thought, hey, you know what? We can put Parker Kelly on the second line in the first couple games of this Kings series because it's the Kings, and we can do that. And you could because you swept. Can't do that against the Wild. So Landeskog was really firmly on that second line with Nelson and Nichushkin. Val, again, Val had a great game. There was a moment, I think it was Hughes behind the net. And Hughes was trying to do that thing, let's see what's in front of me. And Nuke just said, nope. And when he's at his best, I've talked about his skating radius. The way he skated around the net there and hounded Quinn Hughes, didn't miss a single inch of the most efficient way to hound him on that little forecheck. Like, man, okay, so if Val's skating like that, yeah, and he hasn't scored in these playoffs, has he? Nor has Marty Necas. Did Nuke get a goal in the King series? Can't remember. It's been so many days. I'll pull it up right now. I know Necas didn't. He had 3 assists tonight. Nichushkin in the playoffs, because my gosh, he did not score in the King series, which is crazy. He didn't have a point in the King series, which is crazy. He got 2 assists tonight. But that's sometimes where the numbers lie, because you watch Valeri Nichushkin in these playoffs, and he looks great right now. But look, I love Landeskog up there. And then Colton, Kadri, Waugh makes sense. Drury, Kelly, O'Connor makes sense. So it was make sense line tonight. Like, these are our best lines. These are our best dudes in their best spots. And you got 9 goals.
Maybe we should have seen it coming, man. After what happened between Montreal and Tampa Bay earlier on this night, like, maybe we should have seen drunken hockey coming. I know it was just 2-1 for Montreal to win in game 7 there, but the 2 goals that they score, like the Suzuki shot goes off of a foot and then in, and then Newhook bats a puck with his backhand that bounces off the back glass and then off of Vasilevsky's heel, off of Vazzy's ass, and then into the net. They have 10 shots on goal, and they beat Tampa at Amalie Arena to move on to the second round, which, by the way, I'm thrilled about because I love the Habs. But we should have seen this coming, man. We really should have seen this type of crazy ass game coming. It was heart-stopping the entire time. Like, they're up 3-0. You go, there's no way this is going to be easy. There's no way this is a game that they just waltz into a 1-0 series lead, because Minnesota's just freaking good, dude. Like, they just have great players. Kaprizov is a superstar. Quinn Hughes is an absolute superstar. And they've got the right, I think they have the right mix of veteran talent. I think the Foligno brothers are awesome to watch. Michael McCarron is slow, but he's a fun 4th-line center for the postseason. Hartman's a prick, but if you had him on your team, you'd kind of like him as a 3rd-line center. Now, unfortunately for Minnesota, he's centering their 1st line, and that doesn't help. I thought what the Avs did really well tonight, Spring. Matt Boldy felt quiet.
Mm-hmm.
In a game that there were 15 goals scored, Matt Boldy felt quiet.
Let me look at the box score here. I honestly, because I was going to say, I thought Kaprizov was quiet. He only had 1 shot on goal. Okay, and I want to bring this because this kind of goes into something I was going to bring up here. Mark in the chat, Mark Thomas says, how many points Mikko get tonight? Blah, ha, 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 ha. So Mikko Rantanen, and this is going to correlate to things. This isn't just about Mikko. This is about playing the Wild too. Mikko had 1 goal in the 6-game series against the Wild. Had 6 assists.
1 goal, 6 assists. Yeah.
He was a -3 in game 1. He was a -3 in game 6. Both losses.
He did not have a single 5-on-5 point in the series, Spring.
Wow. All of those 8 points were on the power play?
Yep.
Unbelievable. Oh, that's even better.
And
that's even better.
Sorry, go ahead.
So what would have happened if it was the Stars tonight? Like, does Mikko just find that juice against the Avs?
Well, Mikko's that player. We saw it when he was here in Colorado, is that Mikko goes away. He goes onto a milk carton for an entire series, and he shows back up. And it's not that he's Mikko again. Mikko turns into the greatest player on planet Earth for like 4 games, 5 games of a playoff series, and he'll win the series, right? So, yeah, I do think if it was Dallas, like Mikko turns up and he's got, 2 and 3 tonight in a game that there's 15 goals scored.
Mm-hmm. And you're playing, again, that bigger defensive team. Like, Jared Spurgeon was also a -3. He's 36 years old. I think the Dallas D-core overall is better. It's amazing what they get defensively out of Eriksson Ek. It really is.
Speaking of Eriksson Ek, before you move on.
Yeah.
They outscored Minnesota 4-0 at 5-on-5 during the minutes that Eriksson Ek was on the ice. 4-0. That's season? How important in that series.
Oh, in that series.
When Eriksson Ek was on the ice at 5-on-5. They outscored Dallas 4-0 in his 5-on-5 minutes. I'm telling you, it cannot be understated how big of a miss Eriksson Ek is for Minnesota.
Did it just kind of work out? Like, is everything just going the Avs' way where Minnesota beats Dallas, Mikko Rantanen goes to sleep, Eriksson Ek gets hurt, and now the Avs are in a situation where, and there was like, when it was 5-5, I was concerned. The Avs defense was concerning me a little bit, but hey, then, and keep in mind, the best defenseman in the world was playing hurt most of this game tonight, and he didn't look like it. He fought through that like an absolute champ. And that made me feel so much better about the defense in the third period. When you see, and I know Kale's doing a lot of it offensively, but when you just see him playing like that, it really just makes you feel better about everything. The Minnesota winning, like, it didn't matter. Like, 7 games was, when we look back on this and say that series going 7 didn't matter at all. Maybe extending a few days and healing Kadri's finger, there was that. But really, the most important thing was Minnesota knocking off Dallas from a matchup perspective. And although Minnesota's damn good, and I've had them as the 3rd best team in the league all year, Carolina's maybe impressing me to the level right now where I might say Carolina's kind of in that ballpark right now. Vegas looks good right now. They do. In fact, the odds are saying right now it's going to be an Avs Knights, and it makes sense. The Ducks are in for a tough one. But just that Minnesota knocking off Dallas was just some good, after all the bad luck that they've had, Landeskog being first and foremost, that they're getting some good luck here.
They needed the good luck. Do you know what today was the 1-year anniversary of?
Landeskog's first, no, it's probably too late for that. First goal?
Mikko Rantanen's hat trick in game 7.
Oh.
You needed some good luck. Something came back your way. The pendulum swung back around. The hockey gods smiled upon you this evening, man. They really did, dude. I don't know what's going to happen next game. I think both goalies probably go next game.
It's interesting because both teams have backups, quote unquote,
that are starters.
That really were kind of supposed to be their starters.
Dude, the expected goals saved above average tonight combined for these two goalies was -7. Like, it was a horrendous goaltending day because the defending was bad in front of them and there were weird bounces. Like, when you have bad defending, weird bounces, and then elite play, right? Like the Quinn Hughes play, the Tarasenko goal, the Quinn Hughes pass, the Makar goal, the McKinnon pass to Lehkonen. Those are 5 of your 15 goals. And then the rest of them were kind of like shit defending and weird bounces.
I would say, don't you got to think that it's high likelihood that a third goalie's playing in this series. I mean, you would say as we sit here today that the most likely next goalie in would be Philip Gustafsson, simply because the Wild are coming off of a loss and Volstead allowed 8. I love Jesper Volstead. I want to say that.
He's so
I do
good.
think there's
And he
probably a
competes.
couple of those he wants back. Now, they're just great shots, too. I mean, the Avs were, for all the missed nets they had this year, too, it's kind of like that evened out today. They were hitting corners, you know? I mean, they were like they kind of the law of averages, and for the power play, too, you know? It just clicked today after they've really had their moments of being so close. Lots of posts. How many posts did they hit this year in the first round against the Kings? And they were just hitting their spots. So I think Volstead is a great goalie. But if goals are just continue to be scored in this series, and especially if Mini goes down 2-0, then you're looking for an adjustment. And you could just say, well, let's go with Gustafsson just to change something. It's also not, I mean, I don't know, man, because Mini is good, and we'll see if Eriksson Ek plays later in this series. He probably will. Will we see Blackwood in this series? I don't think Wedgwood was bad. I thought he was good when they needed him and made the big saves when they needed him, which is really all you need at the end of the day. You could see Blackwood in this series. I don't know, but I'm thinking, Raj, we're seeing one of them. We're going to see at least one of them in this series.
Yeah, I think if you were to put odds on it, man, a third goaltender in this series would be minus money.
I'd say right now, yeah.
Without a doubt. Because at some point, like you could make the argument that, like, depending on the result tomorrow, if Colorado loses, you could see Blackwood in game 3. If Minnesota loses, you could certainly see Gustafsson in game 3. I actually think it would be minus money just for game 3 alone for a third goaltender to show up in this series.
This is someone that there could be pull potential in this series. You know, nobody got yanked in this one, but you know, if someone is down,
it really was, dude. It would have had to be so fucking ballsy for either Hines or Bednar to go, yeah, I'm playing my backup going into this one. It was just what goalie can be less shitty in the third period is going to win the game. And it honestly wasn't that for Wedgwood. Wedgwood just showed up and was like excellent in the third period. And Volstead wasn't. We're not going to see another game like this in the series. I don't think there's any chance.
Could. I don't think, every game's going to be like this, but, and this still could go long. It could.
I think it's a 6 or 7 game series. Like,
I do
so
too.
Evenly matched.
I do too. It's going to, especially games 3 and 4 in Minnesota. And you don't want to Nuggets this thing, You want to look at what the Nuggets dropping that game 2 changed everything. I mean, there were so many, but that kind of just put them on this. Oh, now Minnesota they're going to their home court and they're feeling the momentum and they capitalize. If you drop game 2, you could snowball affect that thing in a negative way. So game 2 is massively important, but I mean, game 2 could be the series actually. Because you want to hold that serve. And then trust that this team can go into Minnesota and get one of 2. Game 2 is gigantic because, I mean, yeah, don't be the Nuggets. Don't be the Nuggets. What's great is, you know what I think the difference in this game was, Raj? I alluded to it a second ago. I think the difference is Cale Makar beasting up, keeping that elite level with a hurt leg. That was a playoff, gotta have it, gotta play through the pain, gotta maintain my A level.
You lose without him.
Tough. And I think that right there, him gutting it up to that level was the difference in this game.
Without a doubt. If he leaves the game a minute and 17 seconds in, the Avs don't win.
Yep.
And Taves was great with 4 points. Cale had 3. McKinnon had 3. Nate just had 3. Like, McKinnon's expected goals was like 0.781, which is insane in this game. He led all skaters in expected goals, and he felt kind of quiet. Like, I'm waiting for the Nathan McKinnon game. I don't think he's been bad. I think Nate's been just fine. Nate has been really good defensively. He's been engaged. He had the one mishap today on the power play, right? Where he just overskates a puck on his backhand, and the Avs power play, even though they do a really good thing on the first power play and they fire through a couple of screens, and then McKinnon makes this one crazy move down the middle and then a wild pass backdoor to R2G1. They then go back to their old habits and they try and make this high drop pass, which can be catastrophic. It's the reason why I want them to make that play on the hash mark. I don't know why they force these drop passes 3 feet into the zone. If you make that drop pass on the hash mark, it's not a breakaway.
Sure.
Marcus Foligno is not outskating you for 100 feet. He can outskate you for 50 like he did, but he's not outskating you for 100, right?
Well,
so
you know,
if you make it on the half wall, the breakaway doesn't happen, right? So they do that crazy thing. McKinnon overskates it, but then power play 2 goes out. It's not a power play goal, but it essentially is. They shoot through 2 screens. Like, they let the puck do the work instead of their feet, man. They got to go back to the drawing board and look at what power play 2 did and goes, hey, the one unit can do this too.
Well, they've scored like the Taves goal. They've scored so many goals of late just by simply getting bodies in front, right?
Double screen.
And it's really, yeah, look, I thought power play 1 was good, except for the bonehead zone entry sequence with those, too close to the blue line. Obviously, you have Landeskog out there. Kadri's finger is good. You can go get those pucks lower, and those bodies can fight and win pucks. Hell, Nathan McKinnon's been better at that in the back half of the season. Look, I thought the first power play goal, I mean, that's a tremendous Nathan McKinnon play. Like, he doesn't score, but that is an awesome, that's one of his better plays of the season as a whole. He's playing very well to me. Marty Necas is not playing his best hockey.
Did he have 4 points tonight?
What? 3 assists, I know.
4? Yeah, I was going to say 3 assists night.
I know. He's not getting loose, though. Marty's not getting loose. I think that comes. I do think that comes.
He got loose early on in this game. Do you remember the spinorama move that he made early on in this game? It was on the short side. I think it was on Spurgeon. He beat him, and he burned him on this spin move. And instead of continuing on his backhand and driving the net, he did the McKinnon thing and stopped and waited. He ends up making a decent pass, and the Avs got, I wouldn't call it a grade A. I think they got a grade B shot out of it. But if he continues on that little pirouette onto his backhand, he's got the defenseman beat, and he can then take it to the far side of the net. I don't know why he stopped.
Yeah, he's a little I agree, Guru. Right now, Necas is a passing fool. He was really letting it rip, in the regular season. Just let it rip again. But yeah, I don't worry about Necas. I think he looks good.
Yeah.
But he's, I mean, that's the bar that he put himself at this regular season. He's set it very high. He's playing like the Marty Necas that, we thought we were getting from Carolina. This season, he played like a genuine Mikko Rantanen replacement. So it's a high bar. And I think he will get loose, especially the way that this game was played, the way that the series is probably going to be played overall. Brock Nelson is another guy who hasn't really gotten loose in these playoffs, but he's such a smart, good positional guy that I just think him staying patient and finding the right spots, he's going to get some net front goals. He's going to get some slot goals. I don't worry about anybody. It's all, these are nitpicky things. I think a lot of what we're talking about, they're 5-0. They just won what I think is the game of the year so far in the NHL. Offense overall was great. It's nitpicky. Go get game 2. Don't be the Nuggets, and stay healthy too. Staying healthy would be great. Because you saw, what happens if Kale leaves that game? I know somebody brought up depth, and depth was huge. When you come out with a Malinsky-Drury goal, it's kind of like, damn, McKinnon's going to get going eventually. Necas is going to get going eventually. You're getting contributions from Malinsky and Drury.
And Blankenberg.
But if you didn't have those superstar plays that Kale and Kadri gave you in the crunch time goals, it's Kadri getting 100% from the finger. It's Makar fighting off a leg injury. Those were the superstars playing hurt. The depth is huge, but then the difference, that final blow, it comes from your striker in soccer, right? It comes from the guy. It's like when you need your goal scorer, when you need your dude. Well, Kale did it. He did it hurt too, and Kadri did it just having healed. It's McKinnon's going to come, Natchez is going to come, but it's those big time efforts that are going to ultimately win a cup from your stars.
Yeah, they got a bunch of, as you mentioned, a bunch of bonus goals today, right? Look at Minnesota. Minnesota got goals from their top guys: Hartman, Zuccarello, Johansson, Tarasenko, Hughes. The only bonus goal that Minnesota got today was from Marcus Foligno. That was it. 5 of their 6 goals were for the guys that need to score goals for them. And obviously Matt Boldy and Kirill Kaprizov were not one of them. They got 1 bonus goal today. You can't waste games where you get bonus goals. And you know what a bonus goal is? A Jack Drury goal. You know what a bonus goal is? A Nick Blankenberg goal. You got 2 of those things. You know what a bonus goal is? A Sam Malinsky goal, although we in Colorado know his shot. But you got 3 bonus goals out of your 9. And then your other guys started to take over. You get 2 from Cale Makar. You get a Nazem Kadri goal. You get a Lehkonen goal. You get a McKinnon empty netter, right? We're waiting. I think we're waiting on the McKinnon game. And it's going to happen here. It will happen in this series where you go, oh, that's the game that Nate took over and just said, I'm winning it. It's mine and nobody else's. Can't wait for it. You didn't waste a bonus game.
Sam Malinsky's growth is gigantic. Like, he's their 3rd best defenseman right now, and I'd say he's their 3rd best defenseman even with Manson out there. Like, say if he two-way. Like, when I was worried when Sam had to leave that game and the defense was kind of, crumbling a little bit, and they were down to 5D there while Sam got stitched up or whatever it was, and for him to come back out is absolutely gigantic. I mean, these guys want it. Logan O'Connor had 5 shots on goal on the 4th line. He's gonna contribute. Parker Kelly, who was a 20 goal scorer, who this team put on Jared Bednar put on the 2nd line, with merit. He earned that. It was a performance-based raise in a way. Now it's gone away, but that's okay. Parker Kelly is dangerous on that 4th line. I think Ross Colton, since he's been reinserted, has played well, and I think he's capable of potting 1 or 2. Nick Waugh, they don't miss a beat on the forward spots. Now, defensively, look, Nick Blankenberg, question mark defensively. You hope Manson's back as soon as possible, but I like the punch offensively he brings. Damn, he's worse than Girard defensively. Brent Burns, yeah. I get it, but offensively, they don't miss at the forward group. They don't miss a single beat.
I looked at the Malinsky, his 4-year deal kicks in next year, man, and he's making less than the Girard deal, and the Girard deal was signed like 5 years ago. He makes $475 over 4 years starting this coming season. And he's just starting to break into who he is in this league. That is, to me, an absolute steal.
I'd say it started, I think, really last series. He played 20 minutes tonight, and that's, that was the deserving 3rd. Because
20 minutes in missed time. 20 minutes in missed time.
And he missed some time in this game. No, it's a fit. Sam Malinsky going forward, and it started last series, and here we're officially in this era where Sam Malinsky is your lead guy in your 2nd D pair for years to come. It used to be Manson and Girard. It used to be Manson and whoever. Even if it is Malinsky and Manson, Malinsky's the lead. Like, Malinsky's the guy, and that's who they will build around on their 2nd D pair for years to come.
What other things have we missed anything from tonight? It was exhausting.
I think we got everything, and there was a lot, man. That was
unbelievable.
That was a great hockey game. It wasn't, I'm sure the NHL would have preferred to have stars, but it's just, from a billing perspective.
I don't even know if they would have preferred to have stars, man. I don't know. Like, Quinn Hughes, the Minnesota Wild are built through Team USA. They are Bill Guerin, Quinn Hughes, Brock Faber, Matt Boldy. They are built through the gold medal American Eagles. Like,
they are.
I don't know if the league looks at Dallas and goes, oh yeah, Rupe Hintz, Mikko Rantanen, and a bunch of Canadian dudes. Like, I
I
don't
think
know
the one diff just from a marketing standpoint would just be the Miko in his Miko against anybody else really
they
does
got it
nothing
last
for
year. They got
anybody.
that last year.
They
got
did get it
year.
last year, but there's, it probably is still the most compelling former guy playing his former team right now.
Oh, yes. I mean, that certainly does not have an equal in terms of storylines. Like, maybe if the Avs get to a cup final and they see Carolina, like maybe the Brent Burns going back to play against, and it's not even like when you think Brent Burns, you kind of think San Jose Shark, but he's been so many places. He started off with the Wild. Like, Burns, he's playing against the team that he broke into the NHL with as a forward.
I mean, if it is Avs
Talk about full
Hurricanes, it
circle.
would be like the Miko Bowl in a way.
It would be the Miko Bowl in a way. It'd be Logan Stankoven, Jack Drury, and Marty Natchez looking at Miko and going.
So you could still, I mean, and those are good storylines. Hey, it's all if Minnesota does what they can do, because beating Dallas is damn impressive, and this thing goes 6+, which it should. Maybe the Nuggets. The Nuggets really scared me, man. Especially playing a Minnesota team. Now I just have this like Pavlovian response of a Minnesota series must destroy my soul and be like just edge of my seat.
I don't think it's that, man.
Teeth.
I think it's just that the Minnesota Wild are a really fucking good hockey team. They're just really good, and that's why it feels like it's going to go 6 or 7.
The Avs are better, man. They can get this done in 5. They can get this done in 5.
Don't do that. Don't do that.
I'm not saying they're going to, but they can, man. Don't be the Nuggets. Hold game 2. You take advantage of no Joel Eriksson Ek. You know he's not playing on Tuesday night. Take advantage of that.
Yeah, you absolutely have to take advantage.
Unlike
but dude,
the Nuggets,
I respect the Wild
take
way too
advantage
much
of
to even
lack of bodies. Take advantage of a lack of a big body. And
I respect that Wild team too much. I can't say it's going to be anything less than 6 or 7. I can't.
I know that's what it's certainly after I saw the Nuggets, their Minnesota series. Now I just feel like even without that, look, you beat Dallas in 6. You're legit. And I knew Minnesota was damn good. Had them as my 3rd best team in the NHL all year long. Just saying the Avs are better.
You have said it. You have said it the entire year. And I honestly, you haven't backed off of that hierarchy. You've gone, it's been 1, 2, 3, Colorado, Dallas, and Minnesota. And you go, but it's Colorado, Dallas, and Minnesota.
Yes.
You've said that the entire season long, and I appreciate that you haven't backed off of that. And again, maybe it's just confirmation bias because they won the first series. I've changed my mind to go, I think Minnesota is the better of those two teams. They don't have the center depth. Eriksson Ek being out is insane. And you must come out of your 2 games in Colorado up 2-0. Absolutely have to have that happen. The games in Minnesota are going to be rocking and damn near impossible to win. But the Avs they're deeper than any team in the NHL. And Dan Tanner put out a tweet about 25 minutes ago. The Avs can beat you 9-6 and they can beat you 2-1.
Sure.
And I don't think there is a team in the NHL right now that can say that other than Colorado.
I didn't see anything from Scott Wedgwood today that loses any confidence that I have in him that he can have a game in this series where he makes like gigantic, like 3 to 5 gigantic saves that get you that 2-1 win. I think in order to get that 2-1 win in this series, this isn't the King series. In order to get it in this series, look, I thought Wedgwood was fine and heated up as the game went along. He had we were talking so much about how he, was maybe primed to start, so many days in a row or, consecutive starts, all bunched together that he'd never done this in his career. Just got a few days off. Maybe the opposite happened. Maybe he wasn't quite in rhythm. Did they start him? Did they start him in that Kraken game in the finale? I think they started him.
Wedgie? Yes.
Yeah. And he was ready. He's ready to go for Kings game 1, right? Which was shortly thereafter. They had a few days off here. Maybe Wedgie just wasn't quite in his rhythm until the 3rd period. Based on how he looked in the Kings series, and the Kings still threw really good offensive looks close to net sporadically throughout the 4 games, enough where Wedgie did make those big time saves. I think he's got one in him in this series. I really do. I think they could, like Dan Tanner said, get a 2-1 series win. I think Wedgwood has one in him in this series.
Yeah, you're not going to have all these games that hit the over 5.5, that hit the over. Like, I bet you it's probably a 6.5 goal line for Tuesday night's game. But most of them are going to be the under. Like, it's going to go back to tighter checking hockey. I think both teams are going to go back and look at their neutral zones and go, holy hell, what happened? Look at, honestly, like Quinn Hughes and Cale Makar put on an absolute masterclass in how to freeze a defending high side wing today. Just look back at the Hughes goal that he scores when Kadri is defending him in. It's a thing of beauty. Like, Kadri had no chance to stay with that player. And the 2 goals that Cale has, one is obviously a sensational pass from Nathan McKinnon, but his second one, he moves so quickly from a standstill that nobody in the league can keep up with him. And if he's hitting the net, which is something that he didn't do, right? That was the one thing he didn't do in the Dallas series, is like Cale was always finding open lanes, but he just missed the net against Ottinger. He's finding the net. And if he's going to hit the 4x6, man, watch out.
You gotta have Cale playing it. It seems to be another, you gotta have Gabe Landeskog, right? But you also have to have Cale Makar playing his A+ hockey. He won a Conn Smythe when they won a Stanley Cup. He had 1 goal in the Stars series last year. And now when he's playing at this level in the playoffs again, this is the other part. You have to. You can't. Cale can be out there playing well. If he's only scoring 1 goal in a series, no. You cannot. You learned last year. You cannot have that, and
you lose.
And you got 2. You got 2
sir.
in the 3rd period of game 1, and that's crunch time too in the 3rd period. It's every recipe that they need that replicates 0-2. They're getting it right now. Nazem Kadri is back on the team and playing very well. They, quite honestly, once again, only really do need a Darcy Kemper level of goaltending. I actually do think I don't know what's telling me, and I know that, look, today was a lot of goals. And you're not going to see 9-6 every game in this series, that's for sure. But for some reason, I'm feeling 3-3s, 4, like 3-3-ish type games, more so. I mean, I don't think this is the Kings series. I think we're seeing more 3-3s, games finishing 4-3. I think we're going, and it might be a little bit of a slog for Wedgwood and Volstead, or Gustafson or Blackwood, potentially.
I mean, if we're pulling parallels to the last highest scoring Avalanche playoff game, which was game 1 of the 2022 Western Conference Final, game 2 was a 4-0 Avalanche shutout win. Game number 3 was a 4-2 Avalanche win. And game number 5 was the Arturi Lehkonen overtime winner, 6-5.
I saw you tweet out. Did you tweet out about the last time the Avs scored this many playoff goals? Was it that Oilers Western Conference Finals series?
Yeah.
8-6?
Yep.
So they scored an 8er, and that was the year they won the cup, and they got an 8er, and they also got a 6er via Lehkonen OT winner, and they got a 9er here today. I mean, yeah, it's looking like or 22. It looks like it's what it looks like.
I don't know what Tuesday is going to look like. I have no idea what Tuesday's game is going to be. I want to say Manson's playing on Tuesday night.
And we know Joel Eriksson Ek isn't playing. So unless the Avs are in, the only way I see the Avs losing on Tuesday is if, something akin to the Cale injury happens, but whoever it is on that level doesn't return to the game, Other than that, because of what Eriksson Ek means to them defensively, I mean, they're putting Middleton and Spurgeon out there together, It's really not that great. Volsted's a rookie. I love that guy. He's awesome, but he's a rookie. It's really the Avs versus the Avs on Tuesday night. It really is. I will genuinely be shocked if they lose. And that's all the credit in the world to Minnesota, but I will genuinely be shocked if the Avs lose. It's a must-win game. You got to go get this one.
So my reasoning for wanting Minnesota to beat Dallas was, one, I just didn't want to deal with the skeletons in the closet, right? Like I hand to God, man, like I was fucking scared of the Dallas Stars. Sorry, I'll admit it. The main reason why I wanted Minnesota winning that series is because, and I've said this to multiple people, the tomfoolery, the fuckery that happens with a Dallas Stars series, I felt was not going to be prevalent in a Minnesota series. Like, you can be the better team on the ice for a full period against the Dallas Stars, and one bounce off Sam Girard's skate or one penalty goes against you and Dallas scores, and it wastes 20 minutes of great 5-on-5 hockey where you're carrying the pace and you're pushing offensively and you're starting to break down those walls and you can feel the goal happening, and then one bad hook or one bad clear of the puck goes over the glass, and 35 seconds later there's a goal coming off the stick of a Mikko Rantanen or a Miro Heiskanen, or this year it's more likely a Wyatt Johnston, right? I felt as though that doesn't happen in a series against the Minnesota Wild. So after one game, did the better hockey team tonight win the game?
Oh, yeah. Oh, it's 100%.
Did it take fuckery? No. Now, there was a lot of that happening tonight,
I thought
right?
there was skill on both sides, and the Avs just had a little more at the end of the night.
I find myself agreeing. I know we are an Avalanche show. I get that.
No, that's what happened.
So we are now 1-for-1 in the better team through the majority of the game, 5-on-5 special teams. Just the better hockey team won the game.
Oh, yeah. No, the Avs are the best team in the league. They were the better team tonight.
1-for-1.
Close. It was close. But the Avs, like if this was a scorecard game, and let's say Makar hits 2 posts instead of 2 nets, and Minnesota wins on a fluke weird bounce goal, like, the last one they got. I still would have scorecarded it in the Avs' favor, but the Wild would have won the game. That's how it goes sometimes in hockey. With the puck can bounce weird. Fortunately, it was true to the scorecard in terms of just grading the game. The Avs are the better team. Wild are very good too, but the better team won. You know what I'm thinking right now, man? And I know that some people might hear me say this and think that is a dumb thing to say, but I'm going to say it. The Stars are better than the Wild. The Wild won that series, and good on them.
Oh, I don't know.
Games, like they were the better team in those 6 games. Mikko Rantanen went into ghost mode. Because here's like you mentioned the fuckery that Dallas can have. I need to see it from Kirill Kaprizov in the playoffs. I need to see it from Matt Boldy in the playoffs.
Good point. Good point.
One player for Minnesota tonight who I really did genuinely, and look, I thought Marcus Foligno was that really good trade deadline acquisition, who's that good bottom 6-ish type dude.
Old guy without a cup.
Good type of player to have. They got players like that who are good to have, right? But the one play, and like Hartman's a good player. He scores. I get it. But the one player who I thought for Minnesota tonight, the only guy who I was like, oh, that's on that level is Quinn. Whereas Dallas, so Quinn's better than Miro, Kale's better than Miro, but Heiskanen is still spicy. But the trio of Rantanen, Johnston, Robertson has just shown me more danger
in the postseason for sure.
And certainly in the postseason too, than Kaprizov, Boldy, and I guess I don't even know who I'd say is their third. There's a few guys you could put in there.
Eriksson Ek.
Probably Eriksson Ek, right? So
and they're missing him, man.
Yeah, and they are missing him. But
I think Minnie's the better team just because they're so much better at 5-on-5. And Dallas is like, if we don't score on the power play, then we're fucked. I get what you're saying. Like your horses have to carry you in the postseason. So I totally get where you're like, Dallas's horses have done it year in and year out. Now they haven't won a cup. What has Minnesota's done? I get where you're going. I do. I get it.
I saw somebody tweet out after, because Minnesota went up 1-0 in the Dallas series, and then they lost. As I get my camera back here, and they lost game 2. to Dallas. So 1-1 series. Saw somebody tweet out, the Minnesota Wild have never been up 2-0 in a series in their franchise history.
They've been down 3-1 twice against the Avalanche, and they've won
I
those
guess there
series.
is that. I guess there is that. Hey, that is it. Look, is that type of series possible here? Yeah, if Joel Eriksson Ek is coming back middle of the series and that kind of changes things. So yeah, this series really, in theory and in all likelihood, is far from over.
Game 2 it's so big, dude.
Because what you have an opportunity to go 2-0, and then just all you got to do is steal one, and then finish it in Game 5 at Ball Arena, and I mean, it's right there for you. Game 1's massive. That's why tonight was massive. This was, what a game. What an awesome game.
Spring, before we get out of here, let's get a locker room report from D-Mac.
The highest scoring playoff game of all time happened tonight at Ball Arena. 9-6, the Avalanche come out on front. Cale Makar said that he did tweak something but felt good enough to get back in. Jared Bednar said everybody's got some sort of tweaks, so don't worry about it. 5-5 seemed to be the moment that everything sort of reset itself, and it was insane. A 3-0 start, a 4-2 lead, and then you're down 5-4, and then you respond by scoring a bunch of unanswered goals. It was craziness. Jared Bednar said afterwards he doesn't even know everybody on his team that scored, never mind their team. It was a game where it wasn't that they were rusty necessarily scoring or skating. It was organizationally, what they were doing positionally. Bednar said they were making mistakes they haven't made all year. So perhaps it's a little bit of the mental rust. You win games 2-1 in overtime. You win games 9-6 on home ice against the Wild, but you could see the massive difference. That being said, the Avalanche in the locker room were very calm. They weren't freaking out. The experience mattered tonight. John Hines, the coach of the Wild, was not displeased with his team. Just the opposite. He'll say, we'll look at things and we'll be fine. Neither coach ever really considered pulling their goalies, which is remarkable in a game that allowed 15 goals. So a fiery start. I think the Wild were fine just to be in this game at all. Don't expect anything like this because we've never seen anything like this. But we'll take it. And the Avs off to a nice start as they lead this series 1-0 and has to be one of the most insane games in Avalanche playoff history.
I keep talking about Eriksson Ek, and we mentioned Manson. You got to think Manson's playing in this series because I guess the one thing is the defensive breakdowns in this game. Blankenberg and Burns, I'd say mostly it was to me the size of Blankenberg, but Burns as well. Some rough moments in the second period, but you got to think Manson is playing in this series, which shores things up a lot.
I think he was close today.
Okay. And if he plays Tuesday, holy hell. I mean, that's exactly what you need. It was your one little flaw. And I think Manson does make even if he's not 100%, his size over Blankenberg's makes all the difference in the world. What are you doing with you obviously know what your one pair is. Are we in a Malinsky Kulak world where that's officially your two pair? Is Manson sliding up to play, or is Manson and Malinsky your two pair? I don't think Burns is there.
Answer
it's got to be Malinsky with either Kulak or Manson, right?
The answer is whoever gets the most out of Brent Burns. That is, I don't know who it is, but whoever gets the most out of Brent Burns, then you deal with the other pairing.
Sure.
Like you can deal with whatever happens over there.
And that's a credit to Malinsky that you can trust Malinsky with either of those two.
Right. So I think that'll be part of the chess match for Bednar in games 2, 3, and 4 is this just the anomaly, right? Because we saw Brent Burns, and again, it was a slower LA Kings team. We saw Brent Burns look really good in the Kings series when the pace was brought down just a little bit. Now, when the pace gets up, it gets a little sketchy, right? Really sketchy. If you can find a way to get him back to how he was playing at the beginning of the season, at the very end of the season, and then in the LA series, you're going to be just fine. If you get into that weird mishmash games like 40-65 this year, where like Burns looked like he was 42 years old, then it could be an issue. But I want to say I think this was just an off game for him.
Yeah. I think playing with Blankenberg's tougher too for a Brent Burns. They barely played together, smaller guy. Burns is not the physical, throw his body around like he was, which could help a Blankenberg out more. You almost need
someone. In the first series, though.
But again, it's the Kings, right? Look, I think Brent Burns is going to be solid. And that kind of leads, and I want to actually say that as well with Manson, too, because I don't know if Manson will be 100%. I don't know, like we heard D-Max say.
Nowhere near it.
Yeah, like there's a lot of guys, not just on the Avs, but, if you're playing right now, you're banged up. We saw Manson get walked by Trevor Moore on his goal in the Kings series. Manson coming back doesn't fix everything. He's probably not 100%. He still might make a mistake or two, just like Brent Burns might make a mistake or two, right? But your level of trust is so much higher still with Josh Manson, even if he's 70%. And you eat the deficiencies that him not being at 100% gives you. If he, can't get a puck out of the zone or whatever it might be, that's what you do right now. If Manson can go, he's got to be in there. He's just a bigger body than Blankenberg. That's the biggest thing there. Hopefully he plays Tuesday. Even if he doesn't, you're probably going to need him in Minnesota. If you want to steal one of the 2 games in Minnesota, you're going to need Josh Manson out there.
Yeah, and stealing a game in Minnesota is exactly that. Like, it's just walking into Minnesota and being like, oh, yeah, you're going to take a game is not something that happens. Like, they are just too good of a team there. If healthy, they are too deep of a team to do that. Again, I still think they have issues in the middle of the ice, even when Eriksson Ek is healthy. But it's a reason why I think, like, I think it's guaranteed to go 6 or 7. Maybe I'm wrong, man. But I'm just in that thought process.
Yeah, it's. I mean, they could sweep. It could also, the Wild could win this series. Look, I would say right now, I mean, even coming into the series, I think anyone, unless you were getting cute with it, the Avs were the pick. The Avs are obviously still the pick after winning game 1. Nuggets series scared me. Minnesota's a good team. Feels like I'm destined for another rodeo with those clowns up there for 2+ weeks. But you know what? Everything's the Avs are getting some luck too. Getting some puck luck. They're getting some schedule luck. They've earned a lot of that luck. Like, there's something to be said for that too. They put themselves in these favorable positions. I'm not ruling out a sweep. I'm not predicting it. I'm not dying on that.
I can't believe you've said.
Why? Well, you can't rule that out. I'm
no,
not.
I mean, yeah, it is a statistical possibility.
Got game 1. Can't sweep if you don't get game 1. Can't win in 5. And I mean, I think that's a more realistic road right now.
I think we're just like slapping Minnesota in the face.
It's not about slapping Minnesota. It's about confidence.
They're such a good hockey team.
But it's also about confidence in the Avs. Like, the Kings did fight their nuts off.
Did we spend the entire season going, the Avs aren't going 16-4 this year in the postseason?
Yeah, but
we spent the whole year saying it. So why are we changing?
I don't know.
Why
we're
are we
already 5-0.
now?
Already 5-0. The Kings did everything they could in that series, and ultimately, DJ Smith at the end of the series was just like, I don't know what we were supposed to do. And Minnesota's better than LA, obviously, but if the Avs, a lot of this is, barring injuries, a lot of this is the Avs versus the Avs.
Colorado was 5-0 after 5 games in 2022 as well. And then the St. Louis series had my butthole tighter than it's ever been in my entire life. So why the are we doing this now?
There's no
with a team that's
here.
better than that St. Louis team?
I'm not predicting it. I'm not ruling. There's a difference between predicting something and not ruling something out. Like, if the Avs swept the Wild, would you say, oh my God, that's unbelievable? I can't believe they did. I would.
Yes, absolutely.
Because the reason I wouldn't be shocked is because it is difficult to beat the Avalanche on any given night.
Don't do this. Not after the shit that we just went through with the Timberwolves. I don't know. I have no idea why you're putting this out into the universe.
with the idea that the best team in hockey could
Is going to win
winning
16
games,
straight games,
even against very good opponents. Like they could. Look, if they swept, I'm not going to take any victory lap or anything because I'm not even necessarily predicting it.
You should take a victory
I'm just
lap.
saying
If
they're
that.
really good. And Minnesota threw a pretty damn good punch at them tonight, and they have scored 9. So
Yeah, but they scored 6.
They sure did. But last I checked, 9 is not only better than 6, it's 3 better than 6. I don't know, man.
I hate what you're doing right now.
Or my larger point really is the Avs are fucking good. They're the best team in hockey.
They are the best team in hockey. I agree with you. Like, I think they're going to win the cup again.
I mean, there's so much that's just right there in front of them that they could go take.
Who are you
picking in game 2? Who are you picking? I mean, I'm picking the Avs for sure in game 2.
I'm picking the Avalanche in game 2, but
And
I
I'll
get
be disappointed
nervous.
because this is an opportunity. Like, again, Minnesota's a good team. I have probably in theory this is 6 or 7, but if you drop game 2, I will be feeling like, hey, again, I'll say it for the millionth time. Minnesota's really good. They can come into Ball Arena and get you. But I will be feeling like you missed an opportunity, especially with Eriksson Ek out. Like,
it would be. You have to be 2-0
you
without Eriksson Ek and
these
Brodin.
guys on Tuesday. You really should.
Yeah, I am picking Colorado to win game number 2. I think Manson will be back in the lineup. Brodin is out. Eriksson Ek is out. You should be up 2-0. Now, when there's 4 days off in between games 2 and game 3, right? Tuesday to Saturday, that allows Brodin and Eriksson Ek to get back into the lineup. I'm assuming if you win game number 2 is Colorado, Gustafsson is going to be the starter in game number 3. So that's a complete unknown to you in that point. And he's a more veteran goaltender than Wallstedt is. So yeah, at that point, like we're talking about how like stealing a game in Minnesota that's what it is. It's stealing a game.
Sure, it is. It is. But
I think it's crazy that like we're talking about how much respect we have for the Minnesota Wild and how good they are and how difficult of a team they are to play against. And then we talk about stealing a game in Minnesota, and you're like, well, yeah, they could sweep them. Like, what are we doing?
Steal both. I don't know, man. It's tough to beat the Avs right now. Minnesota, what's their Minnesota is now 4-3. Minnesota's played 7 games, they're 4-3. The Avs are 5-0. And I know Dallas is a great opponent. They played more games. The Avs are fresher. Minnesota loses the next game, they'll fall to 500 in the playoffs. They will fall to 4-4 if they lose. Notice my use of the words if and other words like could possibly happen.
Again, it is a statistical possibility that they could win the series in that many games.
Let's say the Avs go up 2-0 like they should.
Give me your prediction. What's going to happen in the series?
I got them in 5. I got them in 5.
I still think that's a little blasphemous, but okay, I can take it.
All right. Yeah, as long as you win the series, I could give 2 shits about my predictions. Win in 7. I don't give a fuck. Go win the damn series. I'm not betting.
Speaking of our predictions, how did we do in the first round? I think we did decent.
I feel like we did pretty good. I was wrong on Pittsburgh.
I had Colorado beating LA in 4. You had Colorado beating LA in 4.
Okay.
I had Minnesota in 7 over Dallas. You had Minnesota in 7 over Dallas.
Oh,
so
wow.
That was 6.
Look at me.
I had Edmonton in 6 over Anaheim. You had Edmonton in 7.
Oh, at least I had him in 7.
I had Vegas in 6 over Utah, which is what happened.
Nice.
You had Vegas in 6 over Utah. We were pretty chalky on the West. In the Eastern Conference, you had Carolina in 7 over Ottawa.
I gave the Sens too much credit. Honestly, shout out to Carolina. Like, yep. I'm telling you, they look good.
They look really good. I had Carolina in 6. I had Pittsburgh in 7 over Philly. You had Pittsburgh in 7 over Philly. We both got that wrong. You had Montreal over Tampa in 6. I took Montreal over Tampa in 7. I had Buffalo in 5 over Boston, which is what happened, right?
6? Was it 6?
Was it 6?
It was 6.
It was 6. We both had Buffalo in 5.
Okay. Yeah. Look, man.
That's not
Look.
bad.
What
The
did
only
I have?
one
What
that
did
we
we
got-
have for this Avs Wild series? What were our initial predictions?
Initial predictions for Avs Wild was I had Colorado in 6, and you had. Give me 1 second. Colorado versus Minnesota. We both had Colorado in 6.
Okay. Yeah, man, look, I got a bevy of predictions out there.
I was gonna say we've talked about every
You
every
make
amount.
a million predictions, and I'm gonna hit on one of them.
Oh goodness, man. Can we go back to Colorado in 6 just to appease the hockey gods?
I'm on 5 right now. No,
All right.
forget no jinx. This isn't. If Minnesota wins this series, it would suck ass no matter. Of course I'm picking the Avs to win this series, but also they're just the best. They're the better team. So if I wanted to stay in 7, I could have said in 7. Right now I was they won. They scored 9.
All right.
I don't know, man. It's really just, to me, and a lot of times it doesn't work out as conveniently as you'd want it to, but it really is. You got 1, you go win 2, you steal 1 of 2, and you go close it out at home. Like, it's really just that nice little, it's like a recipe. It's like mom's trusted recipe. Doesn't mean that that's going to work out the way it is, but it's kind of realistic and right there for him.
All right, Spring. It is it's late here. We've been on for an hour and 6 minutes. But that's the playoffs. And that's what we do on Between the Pipes. We go long. That was fun. Crazy game. Crazy talk.
Awesome game.
Unhinged game and unhinged talk. It's what it calls for.
It got us juiced up.
We had a great time tonight drinking surf sides at Tony Tenderoni's off of Market Street, which is right across the street from Dierks Bentley's Whiskey Row. We gave away a signed Devon Taves puck, a signed Nathan McKinnon poster, and a signed Logan O'Connor jersey. We were drinking the surf sides. If you guys haven't had surf sides yet, those things rock. That is, you could have, they don't count. Like, you could have 10 of them. I obviously didn't because I was driving tonight. You could have 10 of those things and not know until you knew that you had 10.
Yeah.
And then it's
until
a
you
problem.
start feeling something, but it's kind of like you're drinking
juice boxes.
or whatever.
It's amazing. Yeah. It's like my favorite thing I've ever had.
It's an adult Capri Sun. I love those things.
All right. That's it. We will talk to you guys on Tuesday night. Make sure you guys tune in tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. for Brett Kane. We're going to have live reaction on Altitude Sports Radio 92.5 all day long. Are we giving away tickets tomorrow too?
Great question.
I have no idea if we're
we
giving
gotta
away
be.
tickets.
I can't imagine we're not.
We've been giving away tickets like the entire time. I'm going to assume we're giving away tickets. So don't shoot the messenger if we're not, but I'm going to say we are.
Yeah, we know you guys will hopefully be listening to us either way. And man, we've given you tickets to like in fact, every single Nuggets and Avs playoff game so far. One a week throughout the regular season. So logic would dictate. Our boss is probably watching right now and furiously texting us right now, but
stop talking about it.
One would think, don't hold us to it, but yeah, we're giving away game 2 tickets tomorrow. Probably. I don't know.
All right. That's it for spring. I'm Raj. It's Between the Pipes. We love all of you guys. Avs up 1-0. They've won 5 straight to start the postseason. 9-6, the highest scoring postseason game in Avalanche or Nordiques history. We will talk to you guys on Tuesday evening, 6 p.m. puck drop between the Avs and the Minnesota Wild. Spring and I will be back right here on these airwaves starting at about 8:45 or 9 p.m. that night. Don't miss it. Avs win. Peace.